revisiting the fascinating case of Roger Ver, the man who's currently facing an potential extradition on an indictment from the U.S. Justice Department. All right. Now, this is an important case because he did author the book Hijacking Bitcoin, and it's really in the consciousness of the people, and could be in the consciousness of the executive branch there, President Trump. So now there are some super complicated issues for Roger, and a couple of things. One, he's got a motion to dismiss coming up there. He's going to try to get his case dismissed. That's been pushed out a couple of months. The U.S. attorney got substituted back in. That's in Roger Ver's favor. But then he's basically, they've agreed to some continuances to have the motion to dismiss heard further out. So I think it's going to be still another 2 months out and go through pleadings. So there's a potential that it could be dismissed. Potential. Now, I know Roger Ver has talked openly. He's been on a bunch of shows about trying to get a pardon from President Trump because his buddy Ross Ulbricht got a pardon. Well, let's just talk a little bit about Ross and how that actually happened. Now it was Congressman Massie, deserves all the credit. I would say most of the credit for the Ross Ulbricht pardon. All right, so message to Roger Ver. You've got this very special and very important congressman called Congressman Massie, who is he's a gem. The guy is he's like a Madison type of a figure. This guy is laser sharp on the Constitution, and he does not bend to lobbyists, anything. He's laser sharp and he's not bending. So he deserves the credit for the Ross Ulbricht pardon, getting out to the attention of President Trump. So with Roger Ver, a couple of challenges. One, he forfeited his U.S. citizenship. So he would need to show that he is now making a process of starting a legal, like an administrative review or a actual suit to go into getting his citizenship back. He hasn't done that yet. So he's kind of in a crossroads, because if he tries to start getting his citizenship back and then he gets it back, and now the indictment's going forward and he's saying, well, you're back a citizen now. Now you got to potentially pay these back taxes, which are bullshit because of it's a crypto that didn't exist. It's completely statute of limitations. And anyways, but it should be dismissed on those grounds. But I'm saying that the conundrum is, well, if he's starting to become a U.S. citizen, then maybe he would be in the jurisdiction if he does be of the indictment. So now if he doesn't go out and begin this process, then he definitely can't get a pardon, because he's not a American anymore. U.S. citizen, a U.S. national, just an American at all. He's gone. So President Trump doesn't have jurisdiction to pardon a non-completely, what is he, a foreign national of Antigua or something, or Barbados, I think it is. He doesn't have any jurisdiction to pardon a person like that. So, message to Ver, his lawyers are probably not advising him of this, and I'm definitely not a lawyer, but I see the problem, the legal challenge, that he's in. If this gets to him, a few things that he could do. One, he could start the process administratively with his lawyers of getting his citizenship back. It's going to have to go through administrative or judicial. Administrative review or a judicial review, one of the two. That's going to take time. There are some cases on it. There's a administrative statute. It's 22 CFR 50.40. And then there's the Foreign Affairs Manual 1200. Talks about U.S. nationals intend to return their citizenship, most for denaturalizing act, except for renunciation is the State Department. So he's got a challenge there, but he's definitely going to get his attorneys to help him with that if that's his intent. Alternatively, he needs to align with Congressman Massie. I know he's talked to Tucker Carlson and some other people, but those are some media voices that are powerful, but they don't have congressional power. Massie does. And it wasn't Tucker Carlson or these Alex Jones people or Barnes, who's I got a lot of respect for, who's talked openly about him. But it's Congressman Massie that deserves the credit for the Ross Ulbricht pardon and getting that in the consciousness of the president. So, yeah, Roger Ver's really missing the boat on all that. He's just not following. Thirdly, tell the whole story on Bitcoin, because he doesn't tell the rest of the story. Credit to him for the hijacking Bitcoin. We appreciate him being open about that and what happened with BTC. That's huge. That's definitely a huge start. But he leaves the rest of the story out. He should make a public statement saying, look, there's another chapter to Bitcoin that is unknown. And he doesn't have to say, what is it? His statement originally back, I think it was 2018 or so, about Dr. Craig Wright was that he said he didn't know if he created Bitcoin or not. He didn't know, but he did say that he knew that there was nobody more qualified out there on the subject of Bitcoin, scaling it, who knew more about it. And he definitely didn't know that he had no conclusive evidence that he wasn't. So he should come out with an open apology, I think, to Craig Wright, and also just tell the rest of the story, what he knows. He doesn't have to say that he believes, just what he knows, because he doesn't say the rest of the story. He seems like it just ends in 2018. The story ends, and there's nothing about the rest. There's so much more to the story about scaling Bitcoin and what is happening right now that he's just leaving out. So that would be my plea to Roger. If anything, he could definitely take some advice from counsel and, find out how to then begin the process of getting his citizenship back through an administrative process or judicial process. Get in touch with Massie. I mean, one thing Roger Ver is not short of is funds, I will say the indictment is absolute garbage, because one of the things that Barnes had pointed out was that the U.S. government is not even giving him an amount to pay. If you haven't paid your taxes, well then, you get an amount. Say, all right, you owe $1 million in taxes, Roger. You got to pay this money, and you're good. Well, they aren't even giving him an amount. He's like, I will pay whatever I owe. If you say I owe taxes, I'm not trying to withhold the taxes. Like, what do I owe? I'll pay you right now. And that's not good enough. They won't give him a number. So it is political prosecution at its finest. And these DOJ people, the people that are behind it, Pam Bondi's now overseeing, they really needed to look into this, because it's absolutely wrong to do political prosecution on people just for writing a book. And that's what it came down to. This is like the Kevin Trudeau indictment all over again. He wrote a book on health that people hated, people loved the book. Like, they love this book about Roger Ver. He wrote a book that the pharmaceutical companies hated. It cost them money, cost them a lot of, brand sake. So what do? They put him in jail. They charged him politically. Kevin Trudeau, when he faced a number of 7 years, I think, in jail over writing a book after they told him no more speaking engagements, no more seminars. They didn't say you couldn't write a book in his last court process. And then he wrote a book, and they said, oh no, you can't write a book either. So this is the same thing all over again with Roger. It's political prosecution about writing a book when you're not even giving him a number to pay. If give him a number that you're going to pay, otherwise drop this case. It should be dismissed, or he should, potentially go out and try to regain his citizenship, or at least go through this process, because he can't get a pardon. There's just no jurisdiction for the executive branch to pardon a non-citizen, person who's renounced his citizenship. And his attorneys haven't advised him of that for some reason. I don't know why, but think about it. He doesn't have jurisdiction to pardon a foreigner. That would be an absolute stupid move. He doesn't even really have jurisdiction to talk about that foreigner, because Roger Ver is a foreigner to the U.S. completely. So until he brings back, starts this process all over again. So comments on Roger Ver. I talked about him a bunch of times before. Check it out. Hijacking Bitcoin. Give you the rest of the story on this. I got a couple shows coming up. I don't know if it's going to be a show, but tomorrow I'm going to do that Satoshi documentary meeting. It's going to be tomorrow night with the media company that's doing the Satoshi documentary. That's going to be happening. Had a great talk with the Terranode CEO on Saturday. Some great progress and moving forward in that direction. That's really exciting stuff. I do have a show I'm going to do with Brett Banify coming up this week for sure. what he's been up to, the one-click onboarding and how that is going to impact his company, which is the cards. He's got the gaming cards, and that company, needs the one-click onboarding so bad. So he's fighting for that. He's lobbying for it with money, the stablecoin, like I am. And, so we're pushing the envelope forward as best as we can because, well, the stablecoin's out and it's great. Nobody can buy it. When I'm talking about nobody, I mean, the 95%ers can't buy it. And that's what we need. The market is not the 5%ers who are in crypto. That's cool. That's great. It's a start. It's awesome. But it's the 95%ers. That's the one that we want. The rest of the market, we need to go after those people. In order to do that, they need a one-click onboarding, as they're not going to go through KYC. All right. Hit the ones. Like the video. My name is Gavin Mehl, and I'll see you at the top later.